Goalkeeper complete. Defence complete. Midfield complete. And it's only the 6th of July. What is going on, Tottenham? And you're not stopping there because now the really exciting links begin. It's the rebuild of Tottenham's attack. And I think this is going to stretch way beyond one or two names. This is probably going to end up with four more players being added into the Tottenham team. But what do we need and who are we after? And let's go over that today and let's talk about it because some of those names, and one of them in particular, I think could transform Tottenham's forward line for years and years to come. Finally, a club who is so rich in history for building around brilliant centre forwards, but has had such a lull lately since Harry Kane left, will be able to reignite that status again and be known as the flair attacking team at the heart of our DNA. So let's get into it. Let's start with Krooppy. He is the one that excites me the most from all of these links. And there's good reason for that. For his age, this guy is almost unrivaled. He can play in attacking midfield. He can play centre forward where he's really at home. But those hybrid skills there, that ability to play in both those positions is exactly why Roberto De Zerbi will want him as his main target man. Because a De Zerbi striker, that false nine role, he wants players that get between the lines, stretch defenders out of positions, help bait the press, and create space then for the wingers to get in behind and run onto the ball. But Krooppy as well can drift into those roles, and with the passing of the likes of Tonali and Fernandes, he will be able to get onto the end of them too with some pace. And the brilliant thing about him is he's a good finisher. He's a very good finisher. Is he 99th percentile? No, but when we compare him to our other strikers we have, he is levels above, right? Just look at this comparison. I know Dom's season, this is harsh because Dom's season last year was riddled with injuries. It was under Thomas Frank. We know that's a difficult comparison. Bournemouth, a high-flying, super attacking team. Data always has to be taken with this context. So let's take it there. But you cannot deny what incredible output that is for a teenager coming through. Someone as well who, if they joined the squad, would still be considered as under 21s. They wouldn't take up a squad spot if Spurs were to sell Solanke and lose that homegrown space. But what I would say is there's a deal being tabled here that we should be open-minded to. And that is the idea that Dominic Solanke goes back to Bournemouth, back to the club he had the best stage of his career in, one where the fans love him. And we pay then a big fee for Krooppy and reimburse some of that through the sale of Solanke. I think this would make complete sense. I think it gives Bournemouth some security. They've got their striker for the coming season. Solanke's going to a club he likes, and we're getting a player that we can build our attacking line around under Zerbi, who's a better fit, who will want the big money, right? Bournemouth, they've done brilliantly, but Spurs have that financial strength over them. And let's just compare it to Richarlison as well, who had the better season of our two strikers. But again, it's that ability to play through balls, to make line-breaking passes, that goal conversion ability. It's just so much stronger in Krooppy. And I love what Richarlison's done for this club. But I will put this guy at 19 years old is already outperforming two Premier League strikers in their prime. I think he's worth every penny if the rumoured £80 million is true. And if Spurs can get 30 back for Solanke, and then bring him in for 80 and effectively be getting him for 50, I think it's an absolute no-brainer. And we'll do a deep dive on this with JJ and with Enya, both from a professional coach's view and from an analyst's view as well, to get their take. But let's look at the wingers as well, because Rafael Leao is another one. I've got concerns of him. I'm not convinced. And although he's super talented, and I'll bring him up next to Tell, just for a comparison. They're very different types of players. Tell actually has a better ability to cross the ball. If you want someone who's going to create chances, I actually think Tell is the better option in there. But what Lau is much better at is, touches in the box, shots on target. Those actual goal contributions at the end of the day will be stronger from him. But something that he lacks, and there's issues around, is attitude and work rate. And for me, availability is the most important trait. Attitude is the next most important trait. And if those two things are missing, I'm not convinced. Maybe it's one where it's an option to buy that we don't have to take him up on. But when have those seemingly gone right for us? They don't seem to when they're options. The obligations have, but the options haven't. Just some question marks there I'm not really sure on. And then you compare him to Savinho. I actually think Savinho, of the two, I know people think Leao's the more kind of like glamorous name. Savinho actually profiles probably as the better player when you look at the data. So I wouldn't be completely against the idea of Savinho. I know things have gone quiet there, but I think what's going to happen there is Spurs are going to play a smaller fee. And what we need to do is judge this team based on what it's going to be the finished article as. Think of it as a puzzle, but stop looking for the pieces for a second and take a look at the box and have a think about what the picture is. Because often we're searching for a piece without actually reflecting on the picture we're trying to build. And we find a piece and we go, that's perfect, but actually, or it's not the right fit. But actually, maybe you just haven't reached that stage of your picture yet. This is a terrible analogy, but you know what I mean. We did it with Tonali. There was a lot of outcry at oh, he's not a progressive passer, he's not the one we need. But as soon as Fernandes is linked, people are going, ah, makes sense. Those two together, that works. And this is what we've been saying all season on here. And thankfully, you're all great people who all agreed. But we need to build a system. You don't fix or build a system with one player. You don't break a system with one player either. So if Spurs go and get Savinho, they also need a striker like Krooppy to make it work. If they're going to sign Lau, they need another two wingers to make that work. He needs to be an option in that squad, not built around him as the primary left winger. But it's really exciting. I'm expecting some big spending to come on this next part of the squad. I'm expecting another £200 million at least to go into those three players, and some outgoings accelerating now. I think Spurs got a great price for Dragishin if that minimum number of appearances is met. And there's more names to go out the door soon who I think will attract good fees. Obviously, Vuskovic is 50. So Spurs are fast offsetting for the first time with quick sales their big aggressive spending. And this is really good for keeping a healthy SCR headroom. I'm going to do another episode soon on the next steps Tottenham need to take to ensure we keep building infrastructure that generates revenue and gives us advantages over our rivals. As always, big up to the OhSo33 crew. Keep it lily white. And come on, you wonderful Spurs.